Now college football. Every Monday it's the deep dive in the last segment. Bad beats, bad bets, bad for the books. It's always fun to run this down. Bad beat, Hawaii +6. It flashed 7.5 for a second. That was available early, but this Hawaii took a ton of money from the opener. Wyoming wins by 7 in overtime. They get the ball first. They score. Hawaii throws an interception. They dominated the game and lost by 7. Tough beat, Teddy.
Yeah, it sure was. I mean, 25-12 in first downs for Hawaii. They completely shut down Josh Allen, a guy who people was talking about as a potential #1 overall pick. Not if you watched him play this year. 450 to 269 total offense for Hawaii. Didn't matter. Game goes to OT. Wyoming scores a touchdown, +6. Yeah, that's a tough beat. That's a bad beat if you had Hawaii. One better in the world probably got the +7.5 in their pocket. Good for you. Nobody else did. Everyone else with the Warriors lost or pushed that game, even though they probably had a right side.
All right, you were watching this game Friday night. How bad was this Utah-Arizona total?
Oh, it was pretty frustrating. I had the over in that game. If you got down early, you got down at 55, 55.5, 56. It closed 61. They had 4 different long drives with no points. There were multiple missed field goals. End of the game, you had Dawkins going in for the score. Oh, he fumbles at the 20. It was a pretty frustrating over. A loss. Finished with 54 over 55. You better early? Yeah, that was a tough beat.
How about Louisville laying 42, up 42-3? They had looking like a 99-yard touchdown drive. They fumble going in at the 1.
Oh, that was brutal. That was probably the toughest beat of the day. And it's hard to say, all right, here's a 42-point favorite. That's a bad beat. But they have a 99-yard fourth quarter drive. They march down the field like butter. It's a 31-yard touchdown pass. Yeah, they're going to cover. Oh, no! Fumble at the goal line. So the final score, 42-3 instead of 49-3. They were 42-point chalk. Ouch.
Tough beat and bad for the books. Purdue led late in the third quarter, and then Michigan scored 3 long touchdown drives, and Purdue did nothing on offense the rest of the way. So Michigan gets the money late, and there was a big move on Michigan too, Teddy. Maybe they found a quarterback as Spate left with an injury.
Yeah, look at the tweet from ESPN Stats and Info. Wolverine teams that had 1 red zone touchdown in 10 trips with Wilson Spate scored 2 on their first 2 red zone trips with John O'Corn. And as you mentioned, yeah, Purdue led this game with 3 minutes left in the third. That's a tough beat if you had the Boilermakers in that contest when the Wolverines ended up winning by 18. We'll get back to this game in just a moment because this, as you mentioned, a bad game for the books. We got a pick to show next time.
Bad beat and bad for the books. Ball State opened 12, bet down to 7. They led with 1:40 left, gave up a touchdown and then a pick 6. Western Kentucky wins 33-21. If you took 11 or 11.5, that's as bad as it gets.
Oh, my God. Yeah, for sure. I mean, the bettors there was early news. Riley Neal's not going to play. That's what caused the quarterback. That caused all the move against Ball State. And then they're leading the game anyway with less than 2 minutes to go. Oh, man, the pick 6 at the end after the late touchdown. Those are killers. That was a bad result for the books and a tough beat for anyone who had the card.
All right, here we go. Rapid fire. Bad bets. What were they doing here? North Carolina opened a 3-point dog, went off the favorite against Duke. They lost by 10. What a job by Cutcliffe. He led again. And Mississippi State, this was as low as 2.5 in Vegas, a total no-show. I thought it was a bad spot because everyone's been pumping their tires for a week, telling them how great they are. Game was over in the first quarter. Georgia beat them 31-3.
It sure was. Hey, David Cutcliffe for Duke doing it again at crunch time. You don't think of Duke as a dominant fourth quarter team? How about this? They won the fourth quarter 41-7 so far this season. Rallied from behind on the road at North Carolina. That was an impressive performance for Duke, although the difference in that game was a particularly ugly pick 6 from the Tar Heels in the fourth quarter. And as for the Bulldogs, what'd they do? That's how many NFL running backs does that team have? They ran all over Mississippi State. You can see it from the photo. That was a good result for the house. Lots of bad bets coming on Mississippi State.
Explain this one. UCLA took money and the under. Stanford almost got it by themselves. UCLA bet down from 9.5 to 7. The under 63.5 to 59.5. Bryce Love had 260 yards rushing. Stanford all over UCLA, 58-34. UCLA's allowed 44, 23, 48, and 58 points. I didn't understand Michigan State +5 down to 3, blown out by Notre Dame, 38-18.
I'll explain the rationale behind the two moves. You know, the one is
Okay.
the Marcus didn't trust Stanford and expected Stanford to slow it down. But in terms of when you think it through, I don't know that you ever want to put money on UCLA's defense. Certainly not this season. I was as surprised as the money coming on the under in that game as you were. But you don't think of Stanford as a team totaled in the 60s. And as for Sparty, they were just betting pedigree and spot. You know, Michigan State off a bye. Michigan State beat this team last year. Huge game for the Spartans. Didn't matter. The Fighting Irish were the better squad. Michigan State was sloppy, and that was certainly a good result for the bookmakers. Bad result for the player.
Yeah, I don't think they took money, but this might go down as one of the worst bets of the year. Utah State was 1.5 at San Jose State.
Yeah.
San Jose State lost 61-10 at home.
Yeah.
In a first conference game. Oh
Yeah.
my God, that's unbelievable. They play UNLV Saturday. Check that out. All right, bad for the books. As you mentioned, Michigan opened 10, up to 13.5, 128-10. Virginia Tech. Boy, Fuente's a good coach. Even with the look-ahead spot with Clemson coming to town. No letdown. Open 24.5, close 29.5, shutout Old Dominion, 38-0. And Bob Davie, boy, can he coach. +12, down to +8. Beat Tulsa on the road and only allowed 13 points.
Yeah, I mean, all of those bad for the house. Ton of Michigan money from the wise guys. Virginia Tech money came from everybody. New Mexico money for the wise guys. All of those winners for the players. And, of course, there's a middle we got to talk about. West Virginia opened -20.5, got bet up to 24 against Kansas. Where'd the game land? 22, right in the middle. That's never a good thing for the house, although considering all the West Virginia money, I think they'd have rather it landed 22 than landed 25. Kansas at least showed something on the offensive side of the football.
Yep, and one more. Bama 18 up to 20 in some spots. We wanted to get this in with Vandy. They went interception, punt, fumble, punt, end of the half, punt. Teddy, yards, 677 to 78. First downs, 38-3. 59-0 Alabama. Oh.
And that's a conference game against a team that came in unbeaten, undefeated. So it speaks volumes about what Alabama is capable of doing when they bring their A game. It's Alabama and everybody else in college football. It has been the last 5 years plus. That hasn't changed in 2017.
And they've lost in a couple of those games too in the playoff. Hey guys, for the full video, go to sbrpicks.com.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now, we've put a lot of work into producing all these free videos, so please help us out and keep all our content free for you forever by simply liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Now, not to mention, a visit to our industry-leading website will warm the hearts of all our SBR employees, especially myself. Now, the links are over there to the left, so do check those out. Thanks for watching.